Hey, what's up, guys? Uh, Today I want to talk about how if you're a low status male or low status guy, there's certain places you have to avoid because you'll just get mobbed by everyone you see there. And now, if you don't know what mogged means you'll be. It's when someone else beats you in a certain category, like whether it be money, looks, or relationship status, or being having loads of friends, loads of likes on social media and all that. That's what mogged means basically. It means you compare yourself to them, then you feel terrible about it, you know. So there's a lot of places that you will get mogged if you're a low status male, and I think the worst places would be bars because, or the beach maybe, because if you go to a bar or if you go to a bar, especially by yourself, if you go to a bar by yourself, you'll see loads of people there, and a lot of them will be in large friend groups, so they'll have other people with them, and and if you just go there by yourself and just you sit there just stewing your thoughts, staring at people, that's not going to be good for you. You'll just start comparing yourself to them, and you'll be like, oh, why you look at people saying, oh, why does he have loads of friends? Why can't I be that guy? And then it's just not a healthy environment to be in if you're a low status man with doesn't have a lot of friends or doesn't doesn't have a lot of women or anything. But but you need to stay away from a bar if you're that kind of fella, because you'll just be constantly getting mogged and comparing yourself to other people there. And and people say, oh, you should approach a woman at a bar, but 99% of the time women don't want to be approached by guys at the bar, especially if you're an average guy or sub 5, because they're not there to be. They're there to just get drunk and hang out with their friends mostly. They're not there to be chatted up by guys. At least not nowadays. It was like that in the 90s, but nowadays it's not. That's not just not a thing that happens. You know. So yeah, bars are not a good place to be if you're an undesirable man, because you'll just be constantly seeing things that are way out of your reach, and you'll start feeling bad about yourself. You know. And another place would be the the beach, because if you go to the beach and you're not in shape, or you're not really, or you're kind of fat, you're not in like a, what's it called, you're not lifting weights every day, you're not like a bodybuilder guy. If you go to a beach, you'll most likely see people that are in a better physical state than you are, like they're healthier than you are, and like it's different from going to a gym, because if you go to a gym you're actively improving yourself, you're exercising and you're lifting weights and you're doing whatever, and you're not just doing nothing, like on the beach you just sit there and do nothing, or you can swim, but a lot of the time you'll just be sitting there not really doing anything except, well, looking around or looking at other people, and you'll be seeing like attractive women there, and and you'll be thinking, oh, geez, why haven't, that's something I've never obtained. So that'll be another thing that mogs you. You know, you'll see couples there, and and they'll you'll be thinking, oh, I never obtained that ever. I never experienced that, and then you'll just feel bad doing that, because you know you'll be comparing yourself to other people and just everything. So you know, so the beach is not a good place to be, I don't think, and maybe unless you if you're an introspective kind of person, and you like you just like hanging out in nature when there's not a lot of people around, like maybe during, when it's not during peak hours, maybe you can hang out then, or when it's raining or something, or the weather isn't good, and you just like like sitting on a bench or looking at the ocean or listening to the sounds or bird watching. I think that's a good reason to be at the beach if you're a low status man, because you're not exposed to other people who are living the life that you're not living. So, I think that's a good reason to go to the beach if you're like a undesired kind of fella or doesn't have a lot of friends or whatever. And I think the one of the places that would benefit you is the gym because I know it's kind of cliche to say that, but the gym is really the only place where you're actively improving yourself. You're not just like sitting around just being idle and just kind of doing nothing. Like a lot of places that people like going to, you just kind of do nothing there, and you kind of just sit around and talk, or you just that's all you really do. You're not really doing much to improve yourself. But at the gym, you're actually improving yourself, even if you're overweight or fat and you're not in shape or anything, and just going to the gym and taking small steps to improve yourself. Like I'll do a couple of push-ups one day. Like I'll maybe lift some weights one day. I'll maybe do a bit of a jog another day. Like that is you're improving yourself by doing that because you're not just like there's gonna be other guys there that are stronger than you or more fit than you, but at least you can kind of tune it out because you can actively improve yourself and exercise and do all this stuff in the gym because you're improving yourself, so you can tune out all the mogging that goes on there, and but honestly, I can't think of any other places where if you're an undesirable like low status man, I can't think of any other places besides the gym where that would actually benefit you, because a lot of places now are just frivolous kind of stuff where you just stand around and do nothing, or you go there to hang around with other people, like and you're not improving yourself. Like at the bar, going to a bar by yourself, and all you do at a bar is you sit around with a friend and you drink beer and you talk about things, and that's not really something that like it can be beneficial if you really trust the person you're with and you can confide in them and talk about things and not just have like silly conversations about nothing. Like if you can really tell them about your life and trust them, then that would be a good reason to go to a bar. But if you're going to a bar just because someone on the internet told you, or someone said to you, "Oh, you have to put yourself out there," it won't be a good idea, because you'll just get mogged and you'll be comparing yourself to others. You'll be looking at other people saying, "Oh, why did I never get to experience that?" You know. And I think restaurants restaurants are kind of a like if you I wouldn't say if you're like trying to get out of the house, I wouldn't tell you to go to a restaurant, especially not during peak hours, because or a cafe or anything. I wouldn't tell you to go. I wouldn't advise going there, because if it's during peak hours or even if it's not very, even if it's quiet, like, and you're not there's not many people there, you'll still just kind of be sitting there and drinking coffee or whatever, and you'll be sitting there kind of stewing your thoughts, and you'll be looking at other people there going, "Oh, I wonder what he's doing, I wonder what this person's doing," or you're looking at a girl there going, "Oh, what if I spoke to her?" Then you realise, oh, she probably doesn't want to be bothered by anyone, and then so I don't think it's a good place to be unless you are like if you're working and you absolutely have no choice but to hang out at a restaurant to get your lunch or whatever. But even then, I wouldn't advise sitting in. I'd advise taking it away, get the takeaway, and just going back to your workplace, because you'll probably just be looking at other people there going, "Oh, look at this guy, why am I not experiencing this?" Or, stuff like that. So, and the cinema is a place I like to go to with friends, and I don't consider it a place where you get mogged as such, because especially like if you go to a cinema, you're really, all you're doing is really, you buy your ticket, you don't even have to speak to the cashier or whatever. You just kind of buy your ticket at the what's the machine thing. Like you can just kind of buy your ticket there, or you can book it online, or you can order your food on the little machine thing where you don't have to interact with the person there, and it's not really. Then you walk into the film, and then you just sit down and watch it, and you're not really paying attention to other people. You're kind of just you're just engrossed in the movie. So you're not really, even if there's a lot of people there, you're not really looking at them. You're not going, oh, well, you're not going. What am I doing? What's this person doing? Or what? I wonder what this person's like, and like, or you're not. You might see couples there, but you're going to be distracted by the film. You're going to be distracted by the movie, so you won't be comparing yourself to them most likely. It's like being in the gym, because I would say the cinema is a beneficial place to be, because especially if you're into movies and you love movies, and you you go there to watch the movie. You're not there to just hang out and just stew in your thoughts. You're there to actually watch the film. And like being at the gym, you're there to improve yourself and exercise, and you know you're not there to just sit there and just do nothing like in the other places I mentioned. So yeah, I think the cinema is a decent place to be, to go out and get out of the house if you're an undesirable man, because you just won't really be comparing yourself to other people, and especially if you go on it when it's not during peak hours, because there won't be. Last few times I've been at the cinema, there's barely been anyone at all there, so you're kind of just, it's a place where you can just kind of sit down and watch a film and just unwind from all the frustrations in life. So yeah, and I think the park, maybe going to a park, a public park, that's kind of a tricky one as well, because if you're going during peak hours, you might end up seeing a lot of people there, and a lot of attractive people, a lot of attractive couples, a lot of attractive women, a lot of stuff like that, and you might start saying, oh, especially if you're sitting down, you're not really doing that, and you're just kind of sitting down, not doing anything in the park, then you'll be looking at people and saying, oh, jeez, why am I not, he mugs me, why did I never get to experience that, and but if you go at a time when no one is going to be around, and if you're someone who's into, like, I don't know, bird watching, or just experiencing nature and all that, I think if you go during a time where there's not many people there, like in the morning, or during a weekday when everyone's at work or whatever, I think that's a decent place to be, because you won't really see anyone there, and you just kind of you'll see animals there, you'll probably, that's when the animals all come out, because when no humans are around, the animals all come out, like the foxes and the ducks, and the squirrels, they'll all start coming out, and you'll probably end up seeing one of them, and you won't see them if there's loads of people around, because they don't like people when loads of people are around. So yeah, I think the park is a decent place to be if you're a low status man, but you just have to be wary of the times you're there, and just don't go during peak hours, because you might end up getting mugged by other people who are farther ahead in life than you are, So yeah, I think that's about it for the video, because, so in short, everyone is different, by the way. You might not feel as mugged as I do at certain places, and you might be able to just deal with it, but I would say, for the sake of your mental health and your sanity, don't go and overly expose yourself to things that you don't have, because it could end up doing a number on you, just making you feel terrible, because you'll be comparing yourself, saying, oh, why haven't I done this, why haven't I done that, and even, another thing, actually, I think there are certain things you shouldn't, if you're into, like, watching TV or watching movies, there's certain things you shouldn't watch, because it's just going to make you feel mobbed as well, Like I would say reality shows. Reality shows are basically a no go if you're undesirable or you don't have a lot of status, because you'll see a lot of people who are rich or are good looking, and you'll see them just basically exist. They all they do is exist, and they get praise for it. They'll get money out of it. They'll get everything out of it just for existing basically. And if you watch those reality shows and you're seeing all these people, you'd be like, oh, why do you get things for just existing, you know? And and that's not a good place to be. That'll probably drive you insane if you keep watching those things. Like especially like dating shows. Like if you watch like dating shows like Married at First Sight or something like that, that actually shows how brutal the dating world is. Because and that's why I actually enjoy watching it sometimes, but not oh I don't enjoy watching it too much. But I enjoy watching it occasionally because it shows the brutal reality that modern dating is. You know, it shows how just incredibly high women's standards are, and just how the guys who don't fit the bill and physically will just not have a chance at all. You know, so I think watching it in moderation is a good thing because it confirms your worldview. Like you could say, oh, look at this, I was right about this, and even though when everyone was telling you you were wrong, you're actually right about it. But if you watch it too much, you'll just you'll probably become depressed, or because being exposed to this brutal reality that we live in is just too much. Sometimes, you know, so you have to keep it in moderation. But yeah, reality shows are kind of a no go because you just see all these attractive people, you'll see all these high status people, and you'll be like, oh, it just makes you realize how much you failed in life, you know. But yeah, and I think like with video games and all that, I think unless you have friends and unless you have trusted friends, like you can't. I would say stay away from online multiplayer games because if you especially if you were just if you're playing the online multiplayer game and you're getting destroyed by everyone, that would probably make you feel bad because you don't unless you have a friend with you, because you can fail with your friend, or they can fail with you, and or they can fail with you succeed, or the other way around, and they can encourage you to do better. So but if you're just there by yourself playing an online multiplayer game and you hear people saying, oh, you suck, you suck, you suck, like you hear all this kind of crap from people, that would probably drive you insane, or it would probably drive you into a rage because you don't have your friend there to calm you down. So I don't think maybe online multiplayer games are not the best idea if you're a low status guy who doesn't have a lot of friends. But if you do have friends, maybe they are healthier. But you just have to take it in moderation again, like what I said before. So yeah, there's even certain music that you shouldn't listen to if you're a undesirable kind of fella, because especially if it involves like promiscuity or you know, just sex kind of things, or it's about spending loads of money or whatever, I think that you probably shouldn't listen to that if you don't want to feel mogged, because like, again, being exposed to that kind of lifestyle is probably going to make you think, oh well, you're doing all this while I'm rotting in my mom's basement, or you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I think unless it's framed in a way where you can kind of relate to it, as in like one day it's going to be me. Like, even though you know deep down you're probably never going to live that lifestyle, you can at least pretend that you are. But if you're the type of person who hears that and says, "Oh, I wish I didn't hear that," or "I wish, why do I, why do you just exist and get all this stuff?" Then it's probably not. There's probably certain music you don't want to listen to. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's the end of the video for now. So to close it off, only do things that benefit you, whether it's the gym or, you know, going for a walk where there's not a lot of people around, or just taking in nature calmly, stuff like that. But if you're someone who says who thinks just putting yourself out there, going to all the different places with loads of people around, and if you think that's gonna like get you a girlfriend or get you a large social, get your social life forever, it probably won't, because it'll probably just make you feel worse, because you're just gonna get mogged, and you're gonna compare yourself to other people. You're gonna do all kinds of things, and you'd be like, "Oh, why am I doing this?" You know, because I used to do it myself, but like I still get out of the house. I go to the gym and I go to the park when there's not a lot of people around, or because it's good to get out of the house. It's good to not. You shouldn't just stay in your room all the time, because that'll just lead to you feeling even more terrible. But you have to know what places that you should be at and which places you shouldn't be at, because for the sake of your own health. Because the thing about normies and other people is that they have received validation, and they know that going to a bar or going to a nightclub or going to a beach, they have like something to live for, and they've received all this validation from people, and that enables them to enjoy these activities, because they're not feeling insecure. They're not comparing themselves to other people, because they know that they already have all those things. But meanwhile, if you're a low status man, or you don't have a lot of things in life, if you do the same thing, you just end up comparing yourself to other people and saying, "Oh, this never happened to me," and you see all these people having fun with other people, and you be like, "Oh, well, that never happened to me." So then that's why you can't enjoy certain things, even though you just try and put yourself out there. That's why you can't enjoy certain things, you know. So yeah, that's the end of the video. So take care, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.